post game. Full post game show tonight. 669872570 is the phone number. You got to tweet that out. Katie, great work. Sorry about the first two IDs.
Jeez, this guy, man, huh?
I thought that third one was pretty clutch, though, right?
That was.
The Clippers lose a heartbreaker here at Intuit Dome to open things up in the 2024-2025 NBA season as they fall in OT 116-113 to the Phoenix Suns. Welcome into your postgame show. I'm Adam Oslin. Coming up, second half highlights, your postgame box score, and we will have Clippers talk tonight. 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570 is the phone number. But now we're rejoined by your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, unfortunately, you were very prophetic. You talked about a team scoring first in OT. I don't know if it's Carlo's law.
No,
but,
no, we're not. We're not. Especially not after a loss. I'm not taking credit for that.
I do think those points are more pivotal than people realize because it sets the tone immediately. The Clippers were in a bit of an uphill battle, and Phoenix was relentless in getting downhill and getting to the line.
Anytime you look up at him and you see OT and you're trailing, it almost feels like even though there's 5 whole minutes of overtime, you wouldn't really stress. The Clippers were down 4 points with 2 minutes left in this ball game, but it feels more stressful when you have 4 minutes left and you're down by 3 simply because the overtime rule. I will say in the WNBA Finals, I also was correct. First bucket, winner did win in overtime, but I don't want this. I don't want that credit, especially tonight. Clippers played downhill. I think they took that 99-90 lead at him, but ever since then, they played a little bit from the bottom of the hill, fighting their way up. They tried in this one. I think fatigue had something to do with it. You can play as many preseason games as you want. You're not going to mimic NBA action, NBA run. We saw James Harden feel like just run out of gas at the end of that one, unable to hit that free throw, a rare miss for a guy who's been so clutch for this Clipper team that could have tied things at 114. And then the ball goes off his hands on the inbound on the next one. Just something that the Clippers, they let this one get away, no doubt, but I think there's a lot of positives to take away. The system, how they played the entire second half on both ends of the floor, I think were excellent. Kevin Durant did Kevin Durant-like things, but the Clippers made it tough every single time when he had the ball.
Yeah, this is a Clippers team that had 39 points total in the first half. Their offense was DOA after Ivica Zubac picked up 2 quick fouls, really threw them off their rhythm off their timing patterns with some of, I know it's not football, but with some of the movement out there on the floor in the high pick and roll between James Harden and Ivica Zubac. It just really disrupted this team in the first half. And then in that third quarter, they found themselves. They figured out who they have to be on the offensive end to generate buckets in the half court. And it's as simple as high pick and roll with Ivica Zubac and James Harden. Those two combined for 26 of their 35 points in that third quarter to have the lead heading into the fourth. Ivica Zubac and James Harden both putting together a much better performance in the second half. But as you mentioned, James Harden, I felt like just ran out of gas. He's 35 years of age, and we know they wanted to keep their minutes or his minutes down to around 34, 35. He ends up having to play 40 late in this one because they go into OT, and you could just see he was a little bit more lethargic out there late, leading to some mental mistakes, and then also the turnover late.
Yeah, 8 turnovers in this one for James Harden, something the Clippers can't have when you consider they have 21 on the ball game. But when you have the ball in his hands so much, you're going to expect some turnovers, probably more than last year, just because, Adam, that usage rate is going to be so much higher for James Harden. The Clippers fought in this one, a big turning point, something you mentioned, Ivica Zubac's fouling out late in that fourth quarter. Harden then doesn't have the Robin to his Batman on the offensive end, and the Clippers unable to really get rhythm on that end. Again, I think there's still a lot of positive with that. Amir Coffey to close the game was excellent for the Clippers defensively. Chris Dunn is a fun defender to watch. He mucks things up. He gets in the passing lane. He's fantastic on the defensive end. Derrick Jones Jr. was great. I thought Kai Jones even could have played more in this contest with the way he was able to attack the rim. If anything we take away, Adam, if this is a Suns team projected to finish top 4 in the West, this is a Clippers team that can run with some of the best in the West.
Yeah, you mentioned it. The Achilles heel for this team, as good as they were defensively, they held Phoenix to 103 points through 4 quarters. So the defense definitely showed up, even in the first half, too. I believe the Suns had, 47, 45 points. They didn't break 50. But the turnovers over and over again, and some key ones, obviously, the most key one late, down 3 with 3 seconds left late in this ball game. But you mentioned the ones by James Harden. He struggled throughout the preseason with turnovers. I think it's as simple as they're trying a little too hard to find angles to make things happen in the half court with guys that, aren't used to playing as much ISO ball or aren't used to having so much on their shoulders to create for themselves offensively. So therefore, the passes have to be perfect. And Phoenix was very good in transition with their transition defense, especially in the first half of this one, where the Clippers weren't getting those easy buckets we saw throughout the preseason.
Yeah, I think Phoenix did a great job, Adam, of getting back on the defensive end, really forcing the Clippers to play in the half court, and that forces them to slow things down on the offensive end. I would like the Clippers to continue, even if it does lead to a couple extra turnovers. I think having that threat on offense, we saw how many times Derrick Jones Jr. was able to get up in transition, finish in transition. Norman Powell, I think, was a really, really bright spot for this Clippers team today, especially on the offensive end. He was able to get out in transition. The Clippers played aggressive. Norm's defense, by the way, I'd love to, when the deflection numbers come out later tonight or probably early tomorrow, I'm definitely going to look for how many deflections Norman Powell had in this one. Felt like he was everywhere on that end. This is a good Phoenix team. This is a very good Phoenix team that got better from last year, that has some of the best ISO scores in the game, and the Clippers were right there all night long. And this is a Phoenix team, Adam. Their starting 5 outside of Tyus Jones has been together for an entire season. Most of their bench has been here for an entire season a year ago. The Clippers, meanwhile, bringing in a whole bunch of new pieces. It's going to take some time to mesh and gel. You don't have the luxury of maybe playing some of the lower teams in the NBA. The Clippers, of course, take on a lot of playoff teams to start the season. I think 5 of their first 6 games are against playoff teams. So the question is going to be for the Clippers, can you learn and still come away with victories as the season goes on? 10 of Phoenix's 13 points in overtime, Adam, at the free throw line. Have to be more disciplined on that end.
It's just not being able to defend without fouling. We talked about the aggressiveness and the approach on that end with Jeff Van Gundy and how the refs are going to call it. It's a judgment call, but it obviously greatly affects the brand of basketball the Clippers are trying to play out there. Not saying it was called unfairly tonight. It's just the Clippers have to be aware of that. Nico Batum was picking up fouls left and right in the second half and seemed to not have an idea exactly what was a little bit too physical or what he could get away with out there. And that was a little bit alarming to see a vet like that who's about to turn 36 not know what a foul is. So there were some players out there who are understandably frustrated, I think, but the Clippers lost this game because Kevin Durant was able to hit a tough jumper over a double team to get this ball game into OT, where the Clippers at one point had a 9-10 point lead in that fourth quarter, where they had a chance to really step on the gas and pull away and take that lead to 15 or 20 points. Credit to the Phoenix Suns. They got out. Those were those moments where they got out and ran, got some easy buckets off deflections, and the Clippers' turnovers really killed their offense during those key minutes where Phoenix got back into the game.
Yeah, Phoenix's ability to take advantage of those turnovers, to get out and run, to be aggressive downhill. They did a fantastic job of really seizing the moment, especially late in the game, getting to their superstars. You really miss Kawhi Leonard in this one, Adam, because you feel like down the stretch, Kawhi Leonard could be somebody to take that load off James Harden, to score the basketball, to get downhill, to create himself. The Clippers have a couple of superstars. The problem is Leonard out, according to Shams Charania, for multiple weeks in his report. So James Harden's going to have to be Mr. Clutch for the Clippers. And let's be honest, he was clutch down the stretch, just could not get that last free throw to go. Credit Phoenix. They clearly are a team hunting, trying to prove that last year was a fluke after being swept in the first round by Minnesota. I think the Clippers, Adam, proved who they are today, a scrappy team that's going to fight hard and probably not shoot 27% from three night in and night out. A couple more of those go. I think the Clippers come away with a win today. Your two best three-point shooters, Norman Powell and James Harden, 3 for 16 on the ball game.
Yeah, this is absolutely a ball club that looks to have the makings of a team that Clipper Nation can be very proud of, because the effort was outstanding. And in a game where the offensive advantage and the talent disparity was greatly in favor of the Phoenix Suns, the Clippers more than competed in the second half. They had a chance to pull away late in the fourth quarter, weren't able to do so. Tip your hat to the Phoenix Suns. They'll be right back here next week on Halloween, October 31st, for a rematch here at Intuit Dome. As for the Clippers, their next game in Denver on Saturday, a back-to-back starting in Denver against Nikola Jokic, who is no Jokic in the Nuggets. And then on Sunday, they're taking on the Golden State Warriors up in San Fran at Chase Center. So you're getting tested early here, but I like the fight we saw from this Clippers team. It's exactly what we expected with the way that this team has been constructed.
Yep. You got 2 days off, and then you got 2 straight back-to-backs, baby. Here we go.
More Clippers post-game coming up next, but Carlo Jimenez, my friend, great call as always. We'll talk to you from, God, I was about to say Pepsi Center. It can't be that anymore.
Ball Arena, baby.
Ball Arena. As the Clippers fall tonight, 116 to 113 to the Phoenix Suns. Carlo, talk to you on Saturday. Clippers in Denver.
We back, Adam. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Coming up next, second half highlights. Clippers drop one in OT at Intuit Dome in game one of the 2024-2025 NBA season. And you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
Thanks, Katie. It's afternoon game, by the way, on Saturday. Just kind of weird. 2 o'clock, yeah.
Big bro.
What's up, chat? What do you got? Third quarter Zubats, fourth quarter Harden? Can we go third quarter Zoo, fourth quarter Harden? We can just play one. Why don't we do it the last segment? Yeah. Okay. All good, all good. Yes, ma'am. Chad, you almost lost me there. Tough loss. I don't want to hear this stuff. Old man Harden can't play long minutes. Harden was so good in the second half. They have no shot without James Harden and some of his heroics. You want to get on him about the missed free throw? Be my guest, but they're not in the game without him, guys. And James Harden had multiple blow-bys. That was very encouraging. James Harden looked to be a lot more spry than I anticipated late in the ball game. Now it's game one, but still, there's a lot of positives to take away. Put it like that. Clippers fall in OT here at Intuit Dome in the opener. 116 to 113 to the Phoenix Suns. Welcome back into your post-game show. I'm Adam Oslin tonight. We will have Clippers talk for you. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570. Let's get to your post-game box score here. Oh. Clippers and James Harden in the second half. That was the story. James Harden was fantastic. Ivica Zubac got them back into the game in that third quarter. We talked about it. Big Zoo absolutely had to turn things around after a dismal first half, but ended up with 10 points in the third quarter alone. That's what you wanted to see from Ivica Zubac, because the positive and the biggest one I'm taking away from this ball game is they found how to play offensively by the time the second half started. That's it right there. The Clippers had to click in with Big Zoo, with James Harden, and that got them going in the half court. Where those two combined for 26 of their 35 points in that third quarter alone. And Big Zoo started things off with a push shot. I said, for them to get it going, it starts with Big Zoo here in this third quarter. And it was exactly that. The Clippers also were starting to be able to get downhill a little bit, starting to get in transition. Zoo had a dunk on an outlet pass. It just looked like he found himself, and the Clippers found their identity on the offensive end. That is something, guys, I was extremely concerned about in the first half. What we saw in the first half, there were so many possessions where guys were out of position, where they were trying to do too much or not do enough. Kevin Porter Jr. really struggled in this game. We'll talk more about that. I know some of you are saying we needed Jordan Miller. Look, they took the Phoenix Suns to OT, and it took a tough shot over a double team by Kevin Durant to get them into overtime. But overall, Clippers shoot 45% from the floor after they were at 35% in the first half. So I think they shot 55% in the second half. And after starting, I want to say it was 2 of 16 or 2 of 12 from three, the Clippers started to get some to go. And how about Amir Coffey? Spectacular performance. 25 minutes, 4 of 4, 2 of 2 from the outside. And Amir dropped 11 points. They're not in this game without Amir Coffey as well. He was incredible. That three hit at the end of the shot clock, the straightaway one from 30 feet out. Amir Coffey there was doing a little bit of work. And I talked about him all preseason. He looked really good. Now, we also talked about Jordan Miller and guys fighting for minutes. And I thought Amir Coffey really established himself as being somebody that has to stay on the floor for the Clippers right now as they're looking for offense. If he can provide offense with the defense he was able to play on Kevin Durant, who still had that crazy step back over him and James Harden, who came over to help with the contest. Like, Amir had a couple of turnarounds in the paint and then 2 3-pointers. 11 points, more than did his job on the offensive end, and you know what he can bring defensively. This was a game, though, where the Clippers couldn't defend without fouling in key moments. The Phoenix Suns attempted 34 free throws and were knocking all of them down in OT. And that was the difference. I give them credit because it looked like the wall had them rattled early on. But then there were some issues with Phoenix, and it was Yusuf Nurkic who knocked down a big shot and a couple, free throws late. More on that. Quick timeout. We'll come back. Second half highlights. Clippers fall 116-113 in OT here at Intuit Dome in their first contest. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. And if we're still on, I will keep it here until we go to break. It's like a cord going out or something.
Yeah, there's a short one of my cords.
Getting out at 11. All right. All right. Yeah, let's just get out here then. I want to get into Clippers talk and get some calls. It's going to be really quick segments we're doing. We still have 4 more. We got like 4 breaks here, okay? So let's just keep the music running here, and I'll just get out. Not now. Credit the Phoenix Suns. Clippers had a 9-point lead in that fourth quarter. They were in control. After a Terrence Mann reverse bucket on a Chris Dunn steal, it was 88-79. But the Suns would go on, I believe, a 12-4 run. They got the game into OT, and they outscored the Clippers there 13-10 as they were knocking down all their free throws. I believe it was Bradley Beal who hit a three-pointer. Clippers lose by 3 in the home opener, in the Intuit Dome opener. 116-113 was your final. Clippers head to Denver for the front end of a back-to-back. Tip time from Ball Arena is at 2 p.m. on Saturday. We'll have a pregame show starting at, I'll make it 1 p.m. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until then. But if you're watching on the YouTube side or listening to us on AM 570 LA Sports, coming up next, our first season edition of Clippers Talk. We'll take your calls at 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. Clippers fall 116-113 at home here at Intuit Dome to the Phoenix Suns. Outside of Los Angeles, talk to you on Saturday in LA. It's Clippers Talk next. Guys, taking it here till 11 o'clock. Then I'll get home and maybe we'll do some Clippers talk after dark. I don't have to be limited to just the radio now with the YouTube side. And there's a lot to talk about with this game, so I appreciate all you here in the chat. Tough one. Heartbreaker. They were in control in that fourth quarter. They were. They battled back. I thought they were going to pull this one out. It looked like James Harden ran out of gas late. People are saying they need to be better at the charity stripe. Yeah, the Clippers went 21 of 30 there. But the most critical one was missed by James Harden, unfortunately, in OT to tie the ball game. I give credit to Nurkic for knocking down 2 tough free throws at the wall. I thought that was going to be their undoing. They were missing a lot of free throws thanks to the wall. In the supporters section, you guys were outstanding tonight. I give you a ton of credit. I think it's more than just offense with the second unit, that Mexican Nara said. The first unit was terrible in the first half. James Harden started 2 for 11. So he was 8 for his next 17. But hit so many tough buckets and mid-range shots over Tyus Jones. That's what got him the lead. That's what had them in control. Matchup hunting Tyus Jones. James Harden was cooking him. And the good news is, James Harden, he was getting downhill with some burst. I hit up Dime on blow-by watch. Well, if you already dislike the Phoenix Suns, here's some salt in the wound. They take down the Clippers in their home opener in OT, 116 to 113 here at Intuit Dome. Welcome into Clippers Talk. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. We'll try to get to all your phone calls because just taking you till the top of the hour later tonight. We'll do some Clippers Talk after dark after I get home from Intuit Dome. So look forward to that. Appreciate everybody in the chat here. Art H on the YouTube side at Clippers Talks, and this is the best Clippers Talks channel on YouTube. Thanks for all the hard work, Adam. This Clippers team motivates me. I saw a team tonight that you guys can get behind. I saw the lunch pail type of team, the underdog Clippers, look like they were about to pull one out against a Phoenix Suns team that has far more talent on the offensive end right now than the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. They do. And the Clippers were miserable offensively in the first half. They were as bad as I feared they could look in the half court in the first half if things didn't go their way. And there was a disruptor, something that threw off their rhythm, their timing, their offense. It was Big Zoo picking up 2 fouls right away. I actually said it on Clips and Dip just the other day. We were arguing about who would be taken out of the game first. And I said, if Big Zoo picks up 2 fouls, well, that changes everything. He'll be the first guy out. That happened. Kai Jones came in. Did have a couple of dunks, dunked on Mason Plumlee, but that Clippers team in the first half was down 47 to 39. Credit their defense keeping them in it when they were shooting under 35%. But the Suns were only at 42%, but they had hit 10 3-pointers. The Clippers, though, battled back immediately in that third quarter. I said on Twitter, things need to change with Ivica Zubac immediately in the third. That's exactly what happened. Big Zoo got to work. He got them their first bucket of the third quarter. A little push shot. Then he hit a jumper. Do I have to apologize to someone who's been talking about Big Zoo and wanting him to take more jumpers? Well, he made one all of last season. He made one in their first game so far this season. Now, it was unguarded. They gave it up. It was about a 13-footer, but Zoo sunk it. The momentum shift happened. Another push shot out of a timeout after a challenge by Phoenix. Then Zoo had a dunk on a long outlet pass. I think it was from James Harden. Zoo had 10 points in the third quarter alone after just 5 in the first half. James Harden, after going 2 of 11 in the first half. Right there with his pick-and-roll partner. Those two guys play together. When things are going well, they're going well. And that's what happened in the third when Harden woke up too. Because after starting 2 for 11 with 4 points, by the end of the third quarter, he had quadrupled that number. He had 16 points in the third alone, and the Clippers led heading into the fourth, 74 to 72. And I credit the group that started the fourth quarter with Big Zoo leading them was awesome. They were really good. They were a scrappy bunch. There was a good fall away by Amir Coffey. A Dunn steal on KD. Man misses the layup. Chris Dunn's there to put it back in. Then Kevin Durant missed a couple of free throws. A Zoo hook shot. A Norm jumper. A KD 3 and Amir turnaround jumper again. The Clippers were thriving. The mix of some second unit guys and Big Zoo and Norm, it was working. Guys, they got up by 9. It was 88 to 79 at the 7:27 mark of the fourth quarter after Terrence Mann had a really nice transition play off of Chris Dunn's steal where he got the reverse layup to go, sidestepping defenders, little up and under move. But that's when things started to go back in the favor of the Phoenix Suns. Terrence Mann missed a couple of free throws. That's the theme tonight. Clippers just 21 of 30 at the charity stripe. Tyus Jones then got an easy one. I think it was in transition. It's 88-81. Amir Coffey then knocks down the late shot clock, hoist a prayer, You got to put it up three-pointer from 32 feet out straight away. Clippers are up by 10 now. But then D Book, three-pointer, answers it. Then a two-pointer. Amir, another three. Clippers are still up by 8 with 5:23 left. It's 94-86. But Phoenix has started to find their rhythm. Yusuf Nurkic gets a 6-footer to go. James Harden pull-up over Tyus Jones. Clippers still up by 8. But then Tyus Jones got in transition. Easy layup. Clippers defense was nowhere to be found. Back comes James Harden over Tyus Jones. Hunt the mismatch. Clippers up by 8. They're up by 9 with 3:52 left in the fourth quarter after Amir goes 1 of 2 at the line. They're up 99-90. You got to take that game home. You just have to. Up 9. 3:52 left. Devin Booker, clutch 3. KD, tough 2. Clippers started to clank some. James Harden missed a tough 30-foot three-pointer. Then a floater in the lane that was short. All of a sudden, it's 99-95. Devin Booker's at the charity stripe. It's 99-96 after Terrence Mann fouled out. Then a James Harden turnover. Takeaway by Tyus Jones. That was, I believe, the post-entry pass to Ivica Zubac, as Phoenix had gone small, and the Clippers were trying to exploit that, but they were probably trying a little bit too hard. First, Ivica Zubac picked up that bad offensive foul. That was actually the next possession, I should say. They got it back after a Royce O'Neal offensive foul, but they were trying to force-feed him a little bit, and the Clippers weren't able to execute their offense. Tyus Jones finally got a block on a James Harden layup where he couldn't get to go. Looked like there was contact. Didn't matter. KD and one on the other end with 1:39 left, and all of a sudden, it goes from the Clippers being up 9 with just under 4 minutes left to Phoenix up by 1. James Harden got back to work, though. After KD completed the and one to put him up 101-99, James Harden, tough step back jumper over Tyus Jones. Clippers get a stop after a Grayson Allen miss. Then it's James Harden at the line. He made both free throws with 41 seconds left. Clippers up 103-101. What does Kevin Durant do? He goes Slim Reaper mode. That 15-footer fall away over Amir Coffey and James Harden, tough. That's the shot right there. Clippers couldn't get the stop. Tie ball game. James Harden floater. Bounces off the rim. Couldn't get the friendly roll. It goes into overtime. And the Clippers lose this one as Phoenix was living at the charity stripe. And the Clippers offense and James Harden missed a free throw late and then had a turnover down by 3 with 3 seconds left at the very end of the game. Heartbreaker. We'll talk more about it next. Quick timeout. 116-113 was your final. Clippers lose to the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome. Coming up next, phone calls. If you're watching on the YouTube side, I'm flipping around the laptop just so you can see post-game here at Intuit Dome. We're live. I'm Adam Oslin, and this is Clippers Talk on AM 570 LA Sports. You're home with the Clippers. Look, not playing Bones Highland wasn't the reason they lost. Brian Washington, who's freaking out. Turnovers, missed free throws. Nell said, regardless, this team will get better after a dozen games. Synergy will be tight. They don't have a dozen games just to figure it out, my guy. Not in the Western Conference. Ryan Garcia says hi. Michael Torres says, how long is it, Katie? Is Jay Jose from Southgate? Is that who Jay is? Jay, confirm that. JJ the boy said, one thing for sure is after this game, I am very intrigued on how Leonard would look in this defense and roster. The defense was as good as advertised, guys. They were. They created 22 turnovers. Problem is the offense had 22 themselves, and James Harden ended up with 8 turnovers and some bad ones. Obviously, none bigger than the one with 3 seconds left. They didn't even get a shot off. Grayson Allen steal. JJ the boys said if Harden was able to lock in the final 2 minutes, damn it, man, this loss makes me want to shout in a mountaintop. They're also not in the game without James. Like, I'm telling you right now, if James has to play 40 minutes for them to get a victory, that's not a good recipe for success. That's not sustainable. I know it went to overtime, but if James has to do this much all season long, they're going to be in trouble. I'll tell you why Coach Lue didn't challenge that play. Yeah, it still would have been called a foul, lower body on the trip. It would have been. It was a good call not to challenge that one. Speaking of calls, here we go. Clippers fall 116-113 in OT here at Intuit Dome. They start off the season 0-1. They start off Intuit Dome 0-1. They are in their Intuit Dome era. Man, the Suns. Something about the Suns. Clipper Nation already was upset with them. After tonight, even more so. Welcome back into Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Moslin. Whether you're listening on AM 570 LA Sports or if you're on the YouTube side at Clippers Talk, you want to get in on the chat here. People are talking about if Harden could just lock in the last 2 minutes. Look, I'm not putting the game on Harden. If he has to do that much to win every night, guys, that's not a recipe for success. I'm telling you right now, that can be very problematic. Harden playing 40 minutes, they don't want that. They know that's not sustainable. They know they have a back-to-back coming up this weekend. The guy who came in to spell him tonight was not very good in Kevin Porter Jr. 13 minutes, 1 of 8. Couldn't find a shot, took some ill-advised shots. He has to be better. There were a lot of Clippers that can play better, and even James Harden going 2 of 11 in the first half. Look, if he starts faster, if their offense starts faster, they're not in that position where they're down at the half like that. But they battled, and they had the lead with just under 4 minutes left, up by 9 at Intuit Dome over Phoenix. They couldn't close it out. They ran out of gas. Tough one, Clipper Nation. I get it. We'll start things off with Brandon in Nashville. Brandon dropped. Jose in Southgate. Jose. It's appropriate that you're the first call on Clippers Talk, right? Come on. That's a pretty annoying way to start things off. God. You know players decide things, right? There is no broadcaster's jinx. The players are the ones who put in the work. We don't take credit when they do well. We're not going to take credit either or the blame when they don't. All right, I got you. Continue. Jose and Southgate always ends it with that, and then we give a little clap afterwards. Great start here on Clippers Talk. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. Where is Sean in Inglewood? JJ the boy is asking on the YouTube side. The GOAT, Sean from Inglewood. Where is he? That was Jose and Southgate. You guys can't hear the callers? That's a little bit surprising. I'll check on that on the YouTube side. More Clippers Talk coming up next here on AM 570 LA Sports. So we got what? One more timeout, Katie? Are are the callers in the same programming? I don't know why the people on the YouTube side can't hear the calls. That's frustrating. Guys, I'll try to figure that out. I don't know where Big Bro went. I think I know why. I think we can fix it, guys. In the chat. I mean, it was a good call. It wasn't great. Just kidding. Just kidding, Jose. But I want to be able to podcast from here. Yeah, how about that? Guys, we're working on the call thing. Give it time. It's the first night. Bally changed again. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to criticize James Harden when he had 25 points in the second half and was just cooking Tyus Jones over and over again. There was a duel between KD and Harden tonight, guys. Two former teammates, that's for sure. Clippers lose 116 to 113 here at the Intuit Dome home opener in OT to the Phoenix Suns. Welcome back into Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Moslin, whether you're listening on AM 570 LA Sports or on the Clippers Talk side on YouTube. Frankie Boy 9 says there in the chat, I love this Clippers team. My God, we played pound to pound with a team with supposedly 3 All-Stars. Yeah, you can't knock the fight. Harden with 25 points in the second half. I know he missed the free throw. He had the turnover. But guys, like he had multiple blow-bys late in the game where I was like, whoa, this is not last year's version of James Harden. It's not Philly's version. He had more burst. You know, me and Dime Dropper are always watching for that. Quickly here, Alan leaving the game. You're on Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Hi, Alan. Oh, yeah. Here's the problem. Harden was the one who got him into, like, he was making all those shots until he wasn't. So you kind of had to see if he still had the hot hand, right? He was the one who was cooking him. What about the crossover on Durant to get to the basket? Like, he also blew by him and drew the foul. So basically, you like James Harden when he made them, but you didn't like James Harden when he missed them. So wait, I thought earlier you were saying get the other guys involved. Now you're saying you liked him when he took the shot. What? I mean, he got downhill, got to Durant. I don't know. I don't know exactly what you mean, Alan. I'm trying to follow. No, I don't want any one player always taking every shot, but you just said so yourself. Take the shot, but then don't take the shot. I'm having trouble following you, Alan. What shots was he not taking? I just don't understand, because you started off by saying he took every shot, and now you're saying he's not taking shots. That's the disconnect right now, Alan. Yeah, he's a system. Nobody else can create like he can on this Clippers team. That's how they were able to score at all. All right. Well, Alan, I appreciate it. I still, you're all over the place a little bit. I appreciate the phone call. I do. I just don't know what you want. Like, Harden is going to run the offense for this team. That's who he is. That's how you generate everything off of him. And it wasn't every single shot. He took a lot of them. He made a lot of them. He's the reason they were up by 10. A lot of that was him. So it's tough. Quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll close things out. Clippers lose 116 to 113 in the Intuit Dome opener. More of your phone calls, 866-987-2570 when we return here on AM 570 LA Sports. Thanks to Jay for the donation. Said, I finally get to see the hand claps. That made my night. It was Jose and Southgate all along. I kind of understand what Alan was saying, and I know you guys couldn't hear the phone call, but it also was kind of like, he basically was mad whenever James Harden missed, said he was taking too many, and then also said he wasn't taking enough shots at the same time. And he's the offense. Like, I don't know what you want. Norm did miss some tough ones late in the ball game. He did. I think tired legs. Norm played 39 minutes and had to guard, and guarded well for the most part. He was on Devin Booker a lot tonight, guys. Norman Powell, he helped create some turnovers with his defense on D-Book. He was good. Roxanne going to be tired as hell when I get home. Not that tired. The defense was very good. AM Productions. Clippers lose an OT to the Phoenix Suns here at Intuit Dome, 116 to 113. Game one here at Intuit Dome, game one of the regular season. Clippers come up just a few shots, a few plays short. KD hit a really tough shot at the end of regulation over a double team. Harden came over to help. Didn't matter. He's 7 feet tall. The Durantula, long legs, long arms, was able to create enough separation. Some of that is just, an all-time scorer, one of the best ever, a Hall of Famer, being too good for the Clippers. The people want Jordan Miller, I'm seeing that in the chat on the YouTube side. Lee Vibin said that. Michael Torres said, hopefully KPJ can shake off the rust in the next few games. He has to score for this team to have a shot. I mean, they had a shot even with him not scoring tonight, so I'm not sure that's necessarily accurate. He was that bad, and the Clippers still were up by 10 in the fourth quarter at one point, up by 9 with just under 4 minutes left. Have to find a way to close out that game. I know we have some audio post-game from Coach Lou. It's quick here. I want to hear from Coach Lou in this soundbite, maybe a little bit of insight on just what went wrong. Spit it out, Osland. Late in the ball game with the Clippers up 9 with just under 4 minutes left. Yep, same question. We got it. Coach Lou there talking about the wall, and it was. Everybody there at the wall performed. I thought the Intuit Dome experience was top-notch, as you would expect. Everything went off without a hitch. It's just unfortunate the Clippers couldn't come through as the crowd really helped them rally and did make a difference, like Alan said on the phone line earlier. And I want to point something out that you guys have been bringing up in the chat, but one of the encouraging signs tonight was the Clippers having 13 offensive rebounds and out-rebounding Phoenix 51-42. You don't often lose a ball game, and I guess you could see this both ways, depending if you're the optimist or the pessimist. You don't typically lose a ball game where you get up 14 more shots than the opposition. Both teams had 22 turnovers. The Clippers lost after getting up 14 more shots. That first half offense, and especially from distance, was just miserable. They figured that out. They put it together for 48 minutes on the offensive end with Big Zoo and James Harden both playing to their capabilities like we saw in the second half. They'll be okay. But it's going to be a tough matchup, obviously, on Saturday in Denver versus the Nuggets. The front end of a back-to-back. That's an afternooner. Starting at 2 p.m. with your tip-off. We'll have your pregame starting at 1. And then they'll be on Sunday in San Francisco taking on the Golden State Warriors. So two of the more competitive teams in the Western Conference before they return back to Intuit Dome next Wednesday against the Portland Trail Blazers. Clippers got to find a way to at least get the split this weekend. They have 2 days off. I like this early schedule where I know the back-to-backs are tough, but you also get 2 days off in between and therefore can work on smoothing out some of the kinks in the offense. We saw too much of that in the first half. Foul trouble didn't help. A lot of things to be encouraged by, Clipper Nation. And everybody here at Intuit Dome was amazing tonight. You helped this Clippers team get back into it. They just ran out of gas a little bit late. And Kevin Durant, yeah, he's great. He's very good at basketball, as Brian Seaman would say. Clippers fall 116-113 in OT to the Suns. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization, Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call, Big Brother Jake Warner, the head engineer here at the Dome, Intuit Dome. Katie Newton, our producer, back in the bank. We'll talk to you at 1 p.m. with your pregame show on Saturday. Thank you, Katie. See you on Saturday. Clipper Nation, the chat. I'll talk to you in about 30 minutes from now. I'm going to head home. We'll have a Clippers talk after dark. Don't worry about that part. Clippers talk after dark coming up around, 11:45 tonight. I appreciate you, chat. Good work on your part pointing out some of the statistical anomalies like the Clippers getting up 14 more shots and losing this ball game. We'll talk to you in 45 minutes when I'm back home.